Good day, everyone. Today, we will discuss global migration. So, what is global migration? As we all know, the word migration is very familiar to us. Therefore, it talks about the movement of people from one place to another. Before we go deeper, this lesson will look at globalization and its impact on the sending and receiving countries. Also, we will discuss the numerous challenges relating to migration. Moving from one country to another is not a problem. There is nothing moral or immoral about doing this. So, why do people say migration is not a problem? Maybe there's a better opportunity, or there is a better living there, or it's their choice to move. As we go on, we will know the two types of migration. So, what is the two types of migration? The internal migration and the international migration. So, first, we will differentiate. What is internal migration? Internal migration, it refers to the people moving from one place to another within one country. For example, one of the example is, if you're living here in Bukidnon or Malaybalay, if nakita nimo nga mas dako ang opportunity sa Manila, so imuhag yung i-pursue or imong kuan ang opportunity na mag-work dito kay mas dako ang salary. So muna siyang ginatawag na internal migration. Nagbalhin ka ay nag-migrate ka sa another place pero within sa country lang ng Philippines. Next is international migration. So what is international migration? It refers to people who cross borders from one country to another. One of the best examples is the OFW. They live here in the Philippines but they work abroad. They see more opportunities than here in the Philippines. So, mas gipili nila mag-work abroad kay mas dako ang salary o opportunity dito. So, muna siyang ginatawag na international migration. Nag-move sila from one country to another. Nagpuyo sila diri sa Pilipinas but go-work sila dito sa abroad. We will know the different types of internal migration and international migration. Ang mga types nila, ang ilang mga example, unsay mga differences nila. So, first, internal migration. It is the permanent movement within the same country, and it has a two types. The two types is interregional o intra-regional. So, what is the difference between these two? First, interregional. From one region of a country to another. For example, is NA to West. Historically, ang movement is rural to urban. On the other hand, intra-regional is a movement within one region. Example, Florida to Georgia. Historically, iyang movement is urban areas lang. Ang kalayan sa duwa, ang interregional is iyang movement is from rural to urban, while ang intra-regional movement is urban areas, urban to urban. While in international migration, it consists of five groups: immigrants, workers, illegal migrants, migrants, and refugees. In immigrants, people who move permanently to another country. For example is, if imong family naka-decide nga mas gusto nyo magpuyo abroad or sa lain country, muna siyang ginatawag nga immigrants. Next is workers. Workers, people who stay in another country for a fixed period of at least 6 months or in a year. Best example is, if you are a OFW, mas gusto niyo mag-work abroad, muna siyang ginatawag nga worker ka dito, or domestic helper, muna siya. One best example also is kanang mga nurses. Kung diri sa Pilipinas, ang mga nurses gamay og sweldo, while kung dito ka mag-work sa abroad, mas dako siya og kanang mas dako siya salary o mas dako siya makuha kaysa diri murag triple or ikaduhaon ang sweldo dito. So muna siyang ginatawag nga workers. Third is illegal migrants. People who is living in a country without having official permission to live there. Muna siyang ginatawag nga illegal migrants. Gapuyo ka dito pero wala kay visa or na-expire imong visa. Munang ginatawag nga illegal migrants, or sa tuwa pa NPA, no permanent address. Next is the second to the last is migrants, whose families have petitioned to move them to the destination country. For example, if ako na ko'y family sa abroad, tapos na plana mo nga gusto ay kaning kwaon ko niya diri or dito na may magpuyo, mo na siyang ginatawag nga migrants. Mas gusto niyo magpuyo dito kay na may family dito sa lain nga place, or sa lain nga country. Lastly, refugees or asylum seekers, unable or unwilling to return because of a well-founded fear of persecution on account of race, religion, nationality, o membership or political. Diri, mo na siyang ginatawag, mas ang refugees ginatawag yapon siya illegal. Kay um, wala sila kabalik diri, ay wala sila kabalik silang country or host country. For example, OFW ka, tapos na-expire mong visa, dili na kakadadali og balik diri sa Philippines, kay mo na siya ginatawag na refugees, o kinakailangan siya og kaning help sa kaning government na para makauli ka sa imong host country or sa imong ginapuy-an. As the time goes by, demographers estimate that 247 million people currently living outside the countries of their birth. 90% are moved for economic reasons, while the 10% can be considered as asylum seekers or refugees. The top 10, it has a top 10 countries. First, we will discuss the top 3. The top 3 region or countries that can be considered that it has a lot of workers or OFW. First is the Latin America with 18%. Next is the Eastern Europe and Central Asia with 16%, while Middle East and North Africa has a 14%. While India, Mexico, China, Philippines, and Afghanistan can be considered 6 in the ranking. Also, 50% of global migrants have moved from developing countries to the developed zones of the world and contribute 40 to 80% of labor force. According to McKinsey Global Institute, first-generation immigrants constitute 13% of population in Western Europe, 15% in North America, and 48% in the GCC countries. In United States, it has a 92% of migrants in cities, while in United Kingdom, it has a 92%, 95% in the cities, and 99% in Australia. It has a percentage of migrants. Once it is settled, they contribute enormously. They contribute enormously to raising the productivity of their host countries. As the global migrants increases, it's outstripped the population growth in the developed countries such as today.